Peter W. Sherrill, the unknown black Republican, former 2016 presidential candidate, announces his candidacy for president and commander-in-chief in 2020, challenging Donald Trump and his billionaire cronies for the Republican nomination. The great-great-grandson of former slaves from the brutal cotton fields of the Belvedere Plantation in Utahville, South Carolina, arises from the chains of bondage that once enslaved his ancestors to now seek the highest office in the land. Born and raised in the urban ghetto of Mount Vernon, New York, home of such great entertainers like Dick Clark, Art Carney, the lovely Felicia Rashad, and Denzel Washington. Hard to imagine Sherrill, who was integrated at a very young age, still had to face the disdain of racial prejudice in his new elementary school. Ironically, Sherrill, like Denzel, says, "Thank God for organizations like the Boys and Girls Club of Mount Vernon that served as a place of refuge at the end of a long, hard day at school." And even though Sherrill excelled educationally, he had no idea then that decades later he would find himself entrenched in a brutal racial discrimination lawsuit against the good old boys of Texaco, Inc. at the corporate headquarters in White Plains, New York. Although successfully prevailing against Texaco, Sherrill watched as black Democratic leaders like Jesse Jackson and his cronies began circling Texaco like vultures, waiting to exploit and extort the spoils of the class action settlement. Growing continuously frustrated with these black leaders of the Democratic Party, especially after the Texaco discrimination lawsuit, Sherrill finally freed himself after 40 years of blind loyalty to the Democrats and joined the Republican Party in 2011. Ostracized by the African American community because of this bold and daring move, Sherrill soon declared his newfound freedom in the party of his ancestors. While embarking upon a new journey, Sherrill excelled in his new career in government as Director of Emergency Services, specializing in Homeland Security, COBRA training, Incident Command Systems, and Energetic Materials Research and Testing at New Mexico Tech, training with first responders throughout the entire nation. Today, Sherrill now shares his deep concern for this nation's security and despair for the party God has led him to embrace, which under the Trump administration has embraced racism and extreme hate. Nevertheless, Sherrill refuses to believe the same party that once championed the Emancipation Proclamation has become the party of the same racism and hatred he faced as a child in elementary school and 25 years later at Texaco. John McCain must be turning in his grave, says Sherrill, who he dedicated his last book to, as he vows to return the Republican Party back to its historic roots. Peter W. Sherrill, 2020 Republican presidential candidate, the unknown black Republican, educated, intelligent, America strong.